Hi guys, Micro here again. Today we talk about the documentation which comes with BMS. So in the last videos we talked about the basic installation and the setting up a multiplayer session. Um, and today we talk about the most important documentation you have to work through to get an idea how BMS works, so to say. We are here right now in our installation. So again, this is the installation path for me. On my hard drive, you go to BMS 435 or whichever version you use, and go then to docs, and you have there a lot of documentation. Um, so now you have to ask yourself a question. Um, how deep I want to dive into. So BMS is actually for everybody. So you can use it for arcade flying, shooting stuff, blowing stuff up. That's totally fine. You can go deeper into it and say, okay, I want to really learn how to the systems and all the avionics and all the actual airplane works. And when you say, okay, I know a lot of stuff about the systems, but I really want to know how to fly in a multiplayer environment like real life. So that's the so to say the goal that I personally prefer. So to fly as real as it can get. So and to achieve that, there are multiple steps uh, to start first. So when you're a complete beginner, this video is for you. Um, First of all, again, we are here in the documentation folder, and there are multiple documentations available. Obviously you see the little text file here, which is a good idea to read through. But this video is pretty similar to this text file. So again, when you want to start BMS and you want to do it more serious, stop don't use YouTube to get better for now. So please use this documentation, because the BMS dev team did a very awesome job to create those files. And even when there are good videos out there, ignore them for now, because this stuff is important to read through. You don't have to remember all that stuff, because it's a lot, but it's a good starting point, and I think the best starting point. So the first document in this folder structure, which I would say is the starting point, is a user manual. There you get an idea how basically everything in BMS in 2D works. So when we go to our BMS installation and start it quickly, you get an idea about how everything in here works. So every page, every possibility, every setup possibility, every little detail is very nicely explained. And it's this document is about 200 pages strong, so to say, but you get any information about this sim. So to how to handle it, how to create a mission, how to create whatever you want to create. And this stuff is important to read through. Due to COVID, I think some people have more time, so it's a good possibility to start BMS right now and read through this stuff. Okay, this document is for the basic usage of BMS itself. So when you understood most of the stuff, how to handle it, so okay, now it's the next most important document is the, so to say, -1 document. So this document is about all fly systems in the F-16, about all avionics and whatnot. So every system, every knob, every switch, any page on the MFD, any possibility to create or to fly, so to say, which is necessary to fly, is explained there. So that's the good starting point to read through. There's a lot of information that's nearly 250 pages strong. So a lot of stuff, but this is your, this is your basic foundation. So if you want to sit in the pit, this stuff is important to know, because even when you are not aware how what all the switches are, you have to learn how to ram start your jet and to mostly understand most of the possibilities. But it's again a starting point, and you don't have to remember everything, but it's yeah, necessary to read through. Okay, the next step is so when you are done with your aircraft, you can do all the tests on the ground. So I would recommend to do it on the ground, learn your system on the ground, learn to ram start, etc. And you don't have to fly. You can, of course, but that's the next step. Because like in real life, you have to do your ground school before you sit in a pit. Next thing is the comms and nav manual chart. There you find everything about communication, about radio discipline, about how to communicate with an air traffic control, how to communicate with your wingman, how to communicate with AWACS, whatever information you want to have about communication, you will find it there. It's also described what the communication possibilities in BMS provide, and so on and so forth. That's a pretty important document. So if you want to do it that's the next step, so to say, when you want to do it more real. I like that document very much. Okay, then when you have read through all that stuff, and you say, okay, I'm very happy with my knowledge about the BMS 2D world, so with the menu and so on. So I know most of the switches and most of the systems in the aircraft, so I know how to where is what, and I know how to talk to ATC, for example. So then you are maybe ready for do the first training flights. So BMS comes with a lot of training missions. You find it in the technical engagement and under training, or even at the saved. But I would start personal with the training section. You have there in the current state 26 possible training missions, and the awesome thing is you have a complete documentation about this 26 missions in this document. So you will find any information which is necessary to do this mission and this training right. So you find a lot of stuff here. Again, it's also a little bit mixture about the -1 document and the -34, what we talk about next. But it's nice. This information is also nice to have. So just a little reminder, we talked about the manual, so the 2D world, then the aircraft itself with the -1 document, then the navigation chart and the training. Next one I would recommend is, so because obviously we fly a fighter jet, so we will use weapons at some point when you get better in your basic stuff. So I always recommend just train your basics. You really start slowly. So try to learn how to taxi right. It doesn't make sense to drop any ordnance when you don't able to land or to taxi or to take off or to refuel. So do it step by step. Yeah, don't be aware of, okay, this is thousands of sites of documentation, I just want to fly. Do it. That's totally fine. No problem with that. But again, this depends what you want to achieve. So the -34, not 35, is about weapons systems, air-to-air weapons, air to ground weapons, sensors, EVS sections, and so on and whatnot. Pods, you name it. So there's all documentation about what F-16 can handle at this certain block modification you fly. That's also a lot of good documentation, a lot of good information. Yeah, that's again, I would recommend to start slowly. Start slowly with when you want to do air-to-air. Start with an sidewinder or infrared weapon you prefer. Start with dump bombs. Start, slowly, step by step. But again, we will provide much more videos about that stuff too in the future. But for now, that's just set up and get into BMS. That's the most goal right now here on the channel. And that's basically pretty much it. So there's a lot of more stuff in here. For example, technical menus. That means you can find more detailed information about how to set up BMS or how to modify it better, how to set up your devices and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's yeah, you can read through all the year if you want, but again, it depends what you want to achieve. Yeah, you have the charts here for all airports. Maybe this section, if you have problems with your setup, POTA setup or whatever you use, you may find help here in this section, input devices. There's also a section about track IR, HOTAS setups, you name it, a lot of stuff. Again, when you didn't find your answer there, you find it for sure in the BMS forum. Again, this is always a good place to go to the BMS forum. So it's always helpful, I think. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, again, comment there and or go to the forum. But again, read the fucking manual. See ya.